First time I did stand-up, I was like, oh my God, this is it. Like, I got that rush. Like, this is it. This is what I want to do. This is great, you know? And because I got a few laughs, and I did decently, and I was like, this is it.
I didn't think I could do comedy really growing up. I was like, I've never been like Jim Carrey or Chris Farley. I'm not that dude. Like, so it's like, ergo, I'm not funny. I learned how to like write jokes and tell jokes and perform on stage. I can do that in different ways.
Americans hit their kids on the arm and bruise their body. Immigrants slap you across the face and bruise your soul. It's Guantanamo of the mind.
You can't be nice and last in the city. People from New York accuse you of information. Where'd you get the ice cream?
So can it be a eulogy and a love letter? Can it be one of those letters like a suicide letter where the guy kills the lover and then kills himself and leaves a letter? Like Times Square now, it has no flavor. But back then, it's easy for me to look at Taxi Driver and be like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Like, I romanticize it, but it was hell. You know, it was bad.
You have to realize all the people that came here because they were miserable wherever they were.
My dad's from that generation like a lot of immigrants, where he feels like if you come to this country, you're gonna endure some racism. But for me, like a lot of us, I was born here. So I actually have the audacity of equality. Like, I'm like, nah, I'm an honors gov. I have it right here. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. All men are created equal. Says it right here. I'm equal.
Everybody's looking at me, and dude, I'm naked up here, and they're just staring at me. These are sort of like funny anecdotes and stories from my life growing up in my childhood, and we talk about like falling in love and going to high school, and then it really centers itself around this love story. It's kind of like a Brown John Hughes movie. Comedy can be conveyed in so many different ways. Funny is a very subjective thing, and there's so many different ways to do it.
Take your true stories from your life, because everybody knows funny stories. Because if you're just up there with your jokes, you're living and dying on every joke. Put them in a little form so people are like, oh, story, and then the joke is an extra treat the whole time. It takes the pressure off, but it also, it clarifies what the whole point is, you know?
Stand-up comedy really is this thing where there are no rules per se. There's no undergraduate degree in comedy, and you don't get a master's in punchline and then a PhD in tags. So there is no set structure. I wasn't really good at other things. I just didn't have the ability to half-step or BS it. And then I just really cared about comedy.